Sup everyone, welcome back to another video, and yes, we're going to be talking about the drama. I know, late as always, but just giving my own 2 cents. We used to talk about a lot of different things on my live stream. A lot of times we did kind of diverge away from the Genshin topic and talk about a little more leaning towards different characters within the community. Now, you guys know me, I've never really been a part of any major controversy, nor have I ever spoken on previous controversies. But there's just one thing that has been a running theme on my channel here, and that is discussing different characters and what I think about them. And to be honest, and when I say characters, I really mean characters within the Genshin community. It's content creators, not characters within the game of Genshin Impact. Now, disclaimer before I go any further, I have not spoken to anybody about the drama. All I will be commenting on are things that I've known previously through talking with either Braxophone or other members of the community. And now I know the major players between this drama is between Braxophone and Atsu, and I will not be talking in detail about claims both of them made, because that's up to them to settle. But if you're ever curious about behind the scenes with content creators within Genshin Impact in the space and what it's really like, this is what I'm going to be talking about, starting now. So the first thing is, the Genshin community actually doesn't hate each other as much as some content creators would lead you to believe. Behind the scenes, there are plenty of content creators that are very friendly with each other. They're very willing to collaborate with each other. However, much like the environment within a high school, Genshin is kind of ran like a hierarchy in a sense with content creators, with the people who are like hundreds of thousands of subscribers or the most popular ones sitting all the way at the very top. So the information that the vast majority of people will be getting are from these major creators. They're the ones who probably pull in around 80% of the total views in relation to Genshin Impact, and hence they have a very, very strong grip when it comes to information and fan base within this community. So when I hear people say, well, everybody just hates each other, well, it's really only the very tip of the iceberg where you will see a lot of this drama occur. Which leads me to my next point, which is how a lot of the content creators at the very top of the iceberg have to fight with each other to retain their audience. What I mean by that is you rarely find people who share many different communities with each other. What ends up happening is either they're part of this community and then they absolutely hate another community, or vice versa. The rare occasion where people are a part of many different communities are those who only consume partial content for content creators. What I mean by that is, let's say you are a fan of Twanto, you're also a fan of Dish, you're also a fan of Braxophone, Ziox, you're also a fan of Ambiosity. There's a very good chance that you watch some of their content every now and then, but you're not really a part of most of their live streams. So you're like a partial consumer, and you're never really going to be taking part within Twitter discussions, or you're never going to be raiding into another guy's stream and harassing them because they said something hurtful about your favorite content creator. Ultimately, what happens is at the very top of this hierarchy of content creators, you have people who are at each other's throats, because if they are not, there is always the looming fear of becoming irrelevant. And this is why every now and then you'll see a lot of content creators using drama to get involved with discussion and debates with each other, because they need to take a stance. They need to use their authority and their audience to say something, whether it's something positive or whether it's defending themselves or whether it's lashing out at somebody else or casting judgment on other people. They need to make a stance, because if they don't take a stance, whether it's for good or for bad or just stirring shit up within the community, then their audience won't know what the hell to do with. And what's even worse is if the drama, let's say, is happening and you never talk about it or you don't get involved with it, well, chances are for that period of time, your audience might seek other people who are talking about the drama, who are engaged with this piece of content. And when that happens, you essentially lose your audience or partial audience for a small portion of time, a couple days. And for some content creators, they're not willing to take that risk. So at the very top, you'll see these people constantly getting involved, constantly. It's always the same few people talking about it, discussing, because they're the ones who are fighting with each other for their audience. And if you have noticed as well, another phenomenon is there are people who hate a certain content creator for no reason. Like if you sit them down, they can't give you a real reason why they hate this content creator. They'll just be like, oh, I just hate him. Like, I don't like him. Everything they say annoys the crap out of me, right? There are people who absolutely hate Mtash for no reason. Like honestly, no legitimate reason anyways. It's like, oh, he keeps saying he's gonna quit, but he never quits. That's why I hate him. Is that a legitimate reason? I don't think so, right? It says nothing about his character. It says nothing about the damage he's been doing to the community. The guy is just making content, and he's been very transparent about why he has to continue making content, because he relies on this to pay for his family. He has kids, right? He has a family. Is that a reason to hate somebody? Oh, you're a sellout. I don't think that's a reason to hate somebody, right? Is MTash content kind of filler at times? Yeah, but what content creator within Genshin Impact hasn't made filler content every now and then because the game is so dry? And if this is your job, hell, then you got to do your job, right? You got to clock in for work. Just because it's dry doesn't mean you can quit. So that's no legitimate reason to hate the guy. And then there's also people who say, oh, I absolutely hate Tectone. Like, he's just mean, he's unreasonable, he's very loud, he's obnoxious, right? Like, sure, maybe you can say you don't like Tectone because of his delivery of content or his medium or how he delivers content, right? But you can't say you hate a guy because he's loud. You can't say you hate a guy because he's confrontational, right? Maybe that's just not the kind of content that you enjoy watching. Now, using myself as an example, I know I'm not the most credible source of information when it comes to content creation within Genshin Impact, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, Walrus, you just say whatever the hell you think, right? You just blurt out random stuff, not checking facts and stuff, which ends up misleading a lot of people. And I hate you and I never watch your content because you're not credible. You're not trustworthy. Right? And you say, okay, you can say you don't want to watch my content, but there's no need to go to the point and say, oh, I hate this person, right? Like, oh, everything he does is wrong. Like, everything he says is wrong. But I guess I understand where everybody's coming from. Nobody's going to take the time of day and the necessary steps to confirm anything about people's characters. It's like, oh, if this person says this, then I'm just going to believe that person because I like that person. And this is what ends up happening, right? If Tectone tells his audience XYZ content creator is an asshole or is dumb for saying something, they're immediately going to be like, okay, I'm going to take Tectone's words. Or if MTash says something and his fan base hears it, they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to take MTash's word for it because I trust MTash. So just like Braxophone and Atsu situation where it's mostly he says, everyone is going to have their own opinion. And are you really going to sit there and believe that there's one evil person at fault here and everybody else is clean? No, everybody is fighting for a piece of the cake. Everybody's trying to stay relevant, getting views, getting clicks, getting involved with the hierarchy, right? People at the very top are talking about you. Chances are it's going to at least draw some attention to you. So never for a moment doubt that some content creators are getting involved with this just because they absolutely have to, because if they don't, they won't be very relevant for a couple of days, if not weeks. Personally, I have spoken with Braxophone in the past. He's a very chill dude. He's very content focused, meaning that he constantly tries to upgrade his content. There was a point when we were all a part of a Discord group and we would share thumbnails and be like, hey, what you guys think? And truly, at least back then, the guy was just fully focus on making good content for you guys. And I've said very good things about him in the past, and at least up until now, he has not given me any reason to say otherwise. I think he's a pretty genuine guy, and I think he deserves all the success that has come to him. Atsu, I have never spoken with him, but Atsu as a person, he's always been trying to climb the hierarchy, right? Like when he first started out, he found major success in his game show where he invited Tectone on, he invited all the big content creators, and through his creativity, he has made banger content and have continued to climb the hierarchy within the Genshin social ladder. Now he's pretty much associated with the Twanto group, right? The popular kids group. And through a couple controversies and dramas, he's kind of parted ways with other content creators that at one point really lifted him up. And again, remember people, if one person is always at the center of attention, I'm not saying Atsu is, it's just that in the past few years, big dramas have always had Atsu circling around them. So I'm going to be really on the lookout next time if another major drama such as this one pops up again and Atsu is circling around it yet again. It really begs the question, why is everybody picking on Atsu, or is Atsu doing something that just draws attention to him? No accusations as of now. I think it's pretty entertaining every once in a while to have some drama within the community. And as to answer the question that MTash asks, why can't everybody just get along with this community? It's because if everybody trusts each other and gets along with this community, then it means you also have to share your viewers with each other. And for a space as competitive as mobile gaming and for a game as competitive as Genshin Impact, I don't think any top creators are ever going to take the risk of getting along with each other, cross-pollinating their communities, and hoping that their viewers just choose to stay with them. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think, and until the next one, urge you all to stay safe. Peace, bye bye.